Tune in to the Connect Work with IKS, Tony Lynch, and Quaalude, America's #1 show.
If you haven't been listening to the new guys, the Connect Work, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, take that. This is the Diddler, and I'm oiled up and listening to the Connect Work.
From the west to the east, it's the D-O-double-G, and I'm rocking with the Connect Work.
If you don't know who I am, then you're stupid. Shout out to the Connect Work, hottest show, period. Yay.
I want to give a big shout out to the Connect Work. These brothers are the new sound of radio.
Now this is real entertainment, gang. Damn it. Y'all better take lessons, and I mean it.
If y'all ain't listening to the Connect Work, then y'all got something wrong with y'all.
Andrew Tate here, and I want to give a super shout out to the Connect Work.
Big shout out to IKS, Quaalude, and Tony Lynch. Together they make up the Connect Work.
What's good, y'all? And we back. It's the Connect Work, where connections bring about collaborations, and these collaborations bring about real connections. I'm one of your esteemed hosts on this show, IKS. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to my brothers, let them introduce themselves.
Most definitely. Appreciate you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You guys know who it is. It's Tony Lynch. I am one of the other co-hosts of this show, man. And as always, we're bringing you guys hot topics with some amazing people. You know what I'm saying? And man, hey, while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help us get it out there, you know what I'm saying, and reach more people. And I'm going to hand it over to my next brother, man. You know what I'm saying? And wait, there you go, brother.
Peace to the people, man. Good morning. And my name is Quaalude, and this is a different kind of show today, man. You know, so I'm at a bare minimum for words other than, you know, condolences and peace to the brother STARBORN. And for the first time ever during the show, I'm gonna pass it on to the OG/special co-host, Uncle Beats.
Wow. Okay, you finally got me to introduce myself. You caught me off guard. But it's the one and only Uncle Beast in the streets, like white lines on the corner, like a stop sign. If you can't find me, I'm in your baby mama DM. I'm here. Hood hierarchy, Connect Work, it's all the same. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm always here. I got 3 of my brothers that y'all always see me with here. But I'm fortunate enough, even though it's due to tragedy, to be on here with my guy, my brother, my road dog, STARBORN, in the building.
Appreciate
Salute to you.
Luke.
STARBORN, introduce yourself to the audience, brother.
All right, pretty much. My name is STARBORN, CEO of Cheddar Chasers, Cheddar Chaser Entertainment. And recently, just going through this little family tragedy that just happened out the blue, and I just wanted to bring some awareness to this topic and pretty much share my story, you know, and build on it.
So when you say first I want to give them a little background on you, man. I gotta tell people how great of a guy you are. So I done known this brother since about 2016, 2017. And I took him on tour with me with who was that? Project Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought his sons. And it was the greatest tour I ever been on, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Not have been on a lot of tours, right? But he brought his sons. I don't even think they was old enough to be in clubs and stuff, but he had his sons. And that's when we nicknamed him. Well, he might have had the nickname already, but it was obvious. That's when he was nicknamed Joe Jackson. He had them all. He had a tour van for him. He had the studio in the van. And he treated me like his brother, and we've been that ever since. You know, all of them, they my nephews. His cousin Trevor, his people. It's like we just been locked in ever since, man. Great time, man. He came to Chicago. We went everywhere. So salute to my bro, man, because we just never, once we connected, we just stayed in tune. And if he come up with a plug on something, he called me. I don't care what it is. He say, "Hey, Beats, I got candy apples, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm finna give you some. I don't care. You finna get some of these candy apples, man." He's just such a good brother, man. I just want to say that, man. I just want to say that. So everybody follow Cheddar Chasers, because I'm sure we're going to be talking about this tragedy. And me and him both been there for the good times and the bad times. He done had a lot going on. I done had a lot going on. But what we're here to talk about today happened in Bronx, New York, the Bronx area. Hardest part of New York, man. People don't want to admit it, man. But the Bronx always been the Bronx, man. So why don't you give us some details, Star, on what happened?
All right, pretty much. I got a phone call, 9 in the morning, and one of my guys from New York was like, "Star, your whole family dead. You need to get down here." I'm resident in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This happened in Bronx, New York, and there's 3 sisters, Teresa, Lady, and Dee Dee, which Lady is my mother, and they like this. They like wherever you see one, you see the other, and you know they all got kids. One of my aunts got 2, the other one had 3, and my mom's with us 4. To make a long story
short, put
them
in the middle, Tony.
And anyway, I get the call that a tragedy has happened. So I'm like, put my mother on the phone. And in the process of this, my mother was on her way to meet my aunt and my cousin, the one who committed this tragedy. 15 more minutes, she would have been in the apartment with them. So I called my sister, which is to the left of me. I called her real quick, "Yo, what's going on?" And I heard my mother scream like a hyena who just got stuck with an ice pick in her eye. I ain't never heard that sound before. So automatically, I jumped on the highway. So this is what happened. My cousin, he was a 3rd-time felon, 3 gun charges. So I'm gonna take you a little back to give because I can't try to figure this out. I tried to make reason of it. I tried to make sense of it, and you can't make sense of insanity, you know? So pretty much his last bid was a gun charge, and he had to go to court that day this happened. And pretty much he took everybody out in the house. His daughter's 26-year-old daughter, my 75-year-old aunt, himself, and his daughter's boyfriend. You know? Now, the first thing I said to myself was like, yo, I don't know my cousin to be like that. I mean, he was a stand-up kid, 44 years old, but from ever since, he caught his first bid at like 17, 18 with his gang. He got caught with a pistol, kept it silent, did 8. In the process of that 8, you know, he came home, he was a little different. We all knew that he was a little different. You know, he was always quiet, but he was a little different. During that incarceration, he told him that you know, sometimes, you know, he would hear things or whatever, and basically his mental wasn't right. That's what he told to New York State Correction Department. They never mandated any kind of mental health services. He gets out, get a job, be doing his thing. One of our cousins, he was going to pick up from a little dispute. Make a long story short, he gets pulled over again, has a gun. He goes through 4 years. Come home. This time he get his life together. He got 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? We having family functions. He's always the life of the party.
How long ago was that when he got out from doing the 4?
2017, 16 on that time.
2017. He got out and they asked him why he was incarcerated. Once again, the mental health came up. And they asked him, did you want to take this program or what have you for mental health? And he denied it. He denied it. And like I said, we ain't think nothing. I never seen a sign for him to think that he was capable of doing something like this. Now, me being the big cousin and the big brother to everybody, and I'm living out of town, I wasn't really there, like maybe how I should have been. I really haven't checked on my peoples, maybe how like I should have, going through travels in my life. But anyway, so third time, and I got a lot of anger towards this too. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm here trying to blame this on nobody else or try to. I'm upset at him, and I'm upset about. I have really that much understanding on the mental health situation. You know what I'm saying? We was grew to be like put an H in your chest and handle it. So his third case, like I said, he had 2 jobs. He never did drugs. You know what I'm saying? And has an impeccable reputation in the street. Wow. So he was driving from work. He was going to see some shorty. In the process of that, he was drinking. He gets into an accident on a couple of parked cars. And this is what I was told recently. I didn't even know this. And in the process, he tried to jump out and run. But people on the block or the case me, they snatched him up, trying to hold him. And he got away, but he dropped his pistol.
Allegedly. We don't know who pistol that was.
Allegedly, a pistol got dropped. And this was his fear. Because I'm trying to make sense of this. This was his fear. So he went on to run for a minute, whatever. Then they gave him a court case. And that's why that day this happened, he was going to court. He felt that he was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. That's one thing that was on his mind.
Right.
Now, in the time coming up to his court date, my people were telling me that he was extra paranoid. Thought the feds was watching him. He felt like his phone was tapped. So he was going through a real, how you say it? Paranoia.
Paranoia, right.
Paranoia, I've been on the run before. I know some of my people's been on the run before. I know that feeling. But at the end of the day, I know I did it to myself. So knowing all this, I'm going to bring you up to the day it happened. My mother was supposed to go there that night. She was on the phone with my aunt, and they were supposed to go to the dentist in the morning. And my aunt told my mother, the project's right now, we ain't got no heat. The heat ain't working. So my mother was like, oh, no, I ain't coming tonight. I'll just come in the morning. And from that time, he had called my mother and he had called my sister. And in between that time, he already had committed these murders. In my eyes, I don't know if him and his moms got into it. Like, I don't know, but I'm trying to make sense of this. But I know the mother, he put 2 on my aunt, daughter. The boyfriend got out the house, chased the boyfriend down the hallway. The next door neighbor got a ring cam. He brought him back in the house and he gave it to him. Then he started making phone calls. And that's when he called my little sister, and they was like sister and brother.
Right.
And he let her know that he was sorry. And there wasn't no coming back from that. And he said that they're going to make me seem like a monster. But he's sorry. And I'm going to let her elaborate on that part of it. But I know for me, I couldn't believe it. And if my mother was there, like that would have been my whole life. Like she like the general of the family. You know what I'm saying? He's 44, I'm 53. So it's the age gap right there. So I missed a lot. You know what I'm saying? I missed a lot, but my sisters, they around his age and they were right there. So you got to check on your peoples, man. And that's what I feel bad about. Because I'm a good judge of character. You know what I'm saying? I know certain guys I be around, they got a couple of loose screws. I know how to deal with them. You know, my peoples, I know how to, thinking I could talk to them and fix them or, you know, get to the bottom of certain situations. But I never seen this coming. You know, I just was with him maybe a year ago. We had a birthday party. And we was vibing. I got pictures, I got videos. You know, he was the baby. Now, he did have an older brother who had polio, who died when he was like 15. So he was young when his brother died. You know, after that, he kind of shut down. I give him that. You know, his father was a, you know, a military guy, but from back in the days, got into drugs or whatever case it be. You know, he passed. So I know he had some issues with that. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't see him doing what he did. So whatever I need to do or whatever I can do to help with this mental awareness, that's what I want to do. Because that's the only thing that's going to try to make sense of what happened. You know, and then with the media, they got us looking crazy.
What the media is saying?
I mean, every day on the daily news, it's what?
Monster, you know.
He's a monster,
and he's you know,
a drug.
Had a history of gang violence, sold drugs. Like the media is going to perpetuate, you know, an image of.
Scoot in the camera so we can see you.
I'm Star other sister. I'm his I'm Star little sister, Shy. I'm gonna sit right here, bro. We good.
All right. Get your head.
My head. I just wanted to kind of thank you guys first and foremost for, you know, establishing an outlet for us to get this out in. And I was there with that was my brother. Kos was my brother. You know, he had texted me, you know, on a Monday, and you know, cuzzo, everything good? And I'm like, you know, everything is everything. He said everything not good on my end. So I'm like, yo, you know, I'm here for you. You know, whatever it is I could do, you know, just pull up on me if you want me to pull up on you. He said, I'm off on the weekend. I'm like, pull up to the house. He's like, all right, I'm coming. I see you there. Love you. Like Star said, you know, his first bid, I was there taking his daughter. That was like my daughter. That's my twin. You know, taking her on visits. You know, when he was locked up, sending him letters, you know, just being a support system. And my cousin was like, you know, I understand he was going through whatever he was going through. But I also understand that his mentality and the way he was, it wasn't him. You know, our family is a little bit torn. We have some that are, you know, angry. You know, we lost 3 generations in one day. You know, we lost the matriarch of our family. And as much as it hurts, you know, like I said, the media is going to perpetuate, you know, their reason is they have to sell papers. Their job is to sell papers. Our job is for them to understand that, yes, the situation is tragic, but for everybody that knew Kos, you know, they knew he was going through something. They knew he was facing something. The day of, he called me. You know what I'm saying? He had me on the phone. And, you know, he was just like, you know, I'm sorry. You know, like, ain't no coming back from what I did. And, you know, hold on, cousin, I'm on my way. You know, me and my mom was on our way. You know, I went into the crib, found everybody the way they was. And, you know what I mean? It's some things that's going to stay with us forever, but it's affecting us all. Not only is it affecting us all, it's affecting the community. My aunt was a pillar of the community. Kos, a soldier of the community. So, you know, everybody that's aware of this tragedy say that, you know, it wasn't him. You know, they can't believe it. And at the end of the day, mental illness, mental health is something that people of color don't really put in the forefront because we have no outlets to establish communication. Even our family, he told certain members of our family certain things in his own way that we wasn't able to recognize that he was calling out for help. But at not one point, did we expect to experience this tragedy. And it's not just our family, it's that young man family, his kids, you know what I mean? Everybody that was connected, that's feeling and grieving. We all going through it together. But right now, it's a sense to where we got to stand together in solidarity because we know he was mentally ill. And we have to bring awareness because the situation, God forbid, could happen to anybody. So, and we appreciate having an outlet to be able to talk about it and bring more awareness. But, at the end of the day, we all we got. So sticking together right now is imperative. And to our allies out there and everybody showing support, we appreciate it. And we're going to do everything that we can to not only acknowledge the tragedy that happened, but bring awareness that, within the community, within families, you got to check on your people and make sure that they right here. Because they could, they could smile, they could be walking around like nothing's wrong. And at the end of the day, they're carrying burdens that we don't understand.
Right.
So I think at this time, pardon me, at this time it's it's relevant to know that we here. And whatever we could do for each other, moving forward from here, we all locked in. We all locked in together. Because this is something that's forever changed our family. The families, the family that experienced this tragedy with us. And we want to extend our condolences to them too. Because we all suffering together.
So when he called you, he didn't give you no explanation on why he did it?
I'm gonna be honest, he thought that they were probably talking to police. He I think they talking to police, and I think my family's against me. And I said, cuzzo, never that. We sink or swim. Never that. We here together. We got you. And he said, yo, ain't no coming back from what I did. I knew. You know what I'm saying? I knew right there something wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? I told my son, call my mom's. My aunt ain't picking up the phone. I'm on my way over there. And I grabbed my mom's and we went over there. And the travesty, at hand is I have no explanation of why. But his mother loved him the most. His daughter loved him the most. Those were the two people that arrived for him, no matter what. Same as us, but that connection is different. And
let me ask both of y'all a question. Mm-hmm. If he wouldn't have unalived himself, right, and he was still here, how would you feel about him?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. And pardon me if this sounds hard, but there's no way after committing what he did, he could face his family and the rest of us. So I'm not saying that was an option, but the night before he was hanging with his mans and they came and they told me, he was saying this was the last time that they was going to see him, that was the last time that they was going to be around him. So I know in my heart, in my hardest of hearts, his intentions was not to hurt his family.
Oh, so they thought he was saying as far as in going to prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But, nobody took him seriously to the fact that, he was going to hurt himself or hurt anybody else. But, I know his intentions wasn't to hurt them, that it was, if anything, it was for himself. So, us, me experiencing what I did, walking and seeing my family the way it was, the way they were, you know, you know.
Wait, so how long after you oh my bad, Star, I didn't let you answer the question. How would you feel if he was still here?
I'd be upset. I'd be angry. I'd be looking for him. You know what I'm saying? Be looking for him.
Right. So I was asking you, Shy, how long before you got there after you had talked to him on the phone?
It's like 15 minutes.
Wow.
Stopped on the highway, you know what I'm saying? I try to keep him on the phone as long as I can to let him know that, I'm there. He had made a couple of calls. He called my mother, Kyra, my cousin. He called his baby mom in North Carolina that he had a son with and was telling them that they need to check on the family. And then he called me. Now, being as though that, like I said, that was my brother. The case that he got caught up in, helped him get a lawyer, letting him know that everything's going to be okay. Everything is, I want to say, again, allegedly, and hearsay, no witness was, stepping forward. The prosecutor issued out, an article to the news that they were going to drop the case, which makes the situation even worse.
Of course they say that now.
And Star said that, they probably would have picked it up anyway because, the feds.
Right.
We all had our experiences with the law. I'm not proud about it, but we learned the lessons. And most importantly, I think this is like a letter to, not a letter, but attention to young men, young women, people that have experienced it or experienced what we experienced. You're not alone. We all going through this together. And I'm gonna mourn him. We're gonna mourn him, just like we mourning our aunt, just like we mourning our cousin. You know what I mean? Because we know that he wasn't in the right mental state. Now, I'm not trying to make it as an excuse, but we gotta bring awareness to the real situation at hand. Like, everybody is looking at the messenger. We need to stop looking at the messenger and look at the message.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he was in torment. He was going through what he was going through in his own head. The fact that you think your family is against you is enough to drive somebody's crazy. Somebody that really cares about their family and love their family. So right now, you know what I mean? Like, we would like to take this time to extend, again, our condolences, our gratitude to everybody reaching out and support, and know that mental illness is a real thing, whether you want to accept it or not. You know what I mean? A person telling you like, yo, man, like, shit is looking bleak. I'm not okay. Those are signs. Those are signs. Everybody has something going on right now in their life where, pardon me, everybody's going through it, and they could use as an excuse. But our job right now is to teach people is that you have to be stronger than your emotions.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be stronger. Your mind has to be stronger than your emotions in order for you to even make it out here.
And temporary insanity is a real thing too. You can be okay one day and just one event can make someone black out. I got a cousin who he want to do some stuff to his girlfriend and the mama and stuff, and he called my other cousin and said, "No, you just ain't gonna never see me no more." And he's trying to talk him out of it. And he still went and did it, but they end up doing something to him when he got over there. Mm-hmm. And now he in prison for a very long time, and it's like he can't believe that he did that. He don't know what made him do that.
That was a real fear for him going back to prison. That was a real fear for him. Out of all of the 15 to 17 years that he was incarcerated, he did about 4 years in solitary, and we already know that nobody ever comes back regular after being in solitary confinement. for more than 6 months. We already know what that's like. For those of us that had that experience, we already know what that's like. You know what I mean? So
Right.
the fact that it wasn't mandatory and he said that he was hearing voices and hearing things, I don't want to blame it on the system, but at the end of the day, everybody has to hold to be accountable. We all have to be accountable. And I think this platform and this opportunity, is just gonna let people know that you're not alone. I'm gonna let
I got a question
I
for you.
definitely want to ask
yeah.
I want to ask Tony as a grief counselor, what can you say, Tony, that to help this situation?
Um, to be
I
honest with
mean,
you, they're
as a
doing
grief
the, you know what I'm
counselor.
saying? They doing the number one thing that they can do right now, which is speaking about it and bringing awareness to it, right? So, you know what I'm saying? If there's anybody out there listening right now,
I'm gonna let
it gives them somewhere to go and be around people that actually understand what they're going through, you know what I'm saying? And maybe even bring more education to our neighborhoods, right? You know what I'm saying? To our communities. Because as the young lady was just speaking about, in the black community, it's unheard of. We don't speak about mental health, right? But we're constantly looking at the aftermath of it. We're looking because you know what I'm saying, we're not conditioned to pay attention. And you know what I'm saying, as Starborn said, you know what I'm saying, we're conditioned not to check in on one another, right?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, and in cases like that, when you feel like that you're fighting a war that you don't even understand, it's a mental game, right? You know what I'm saying? And you can talk yourself into a lot of things, man. And for him to think that people are against him, that's a cold world to be in. That's a real cold world to be in because you don't know you know what I'm saying, how much of it is piled underneath just that one little, you know what I'm saying, incident.
What if it was real?
So,
What if his fears were real?
okay, well, to him they were, right?
Right.
To him they were.
I said
Those
that
fears
to say,
were.
I had to ask him. I understand that situation. I didn't understand. I didn't know it in detail until you just sat here and explained it, and it got my hairs standing on my arms. Now,
Mm,
Starborn, well, I don't know if you've ever been in the New York State Penitentiary, but Nation of Gods and Earth is the strongest faction in New York State Prison over any alignment. You know what I'm saying? Muslims, all right, but over any alignment, Nation of Gods and Earth. With that being said, right, and you being who you are, there's a possibility that he came in through that alignment. Now, you got what they call that K2 that's running around New York State Prison.
Mm-hmm.
That K2, they call it Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's synthetic weed for people who don't know.
yes, yeah. Now, New York has a law that passed a few years back with the bail reform, in which in the process of a crime, if you're not actually committing a violent felony, they have to release you. So him having a gun charge, even though it was a weapon, and he could be on parole. That's the law, because parole's not supposed to violate unless it's a conviction. So they making people stick to that law. Now, when you have documented situations in which mental health is not mandated in New York State Prison, due to them shutting down downstate, he went through his reception at Elmira, guaranteed. You know what I mean? And either one of these spots, no matter which one, as well as I know, all it's about is, these it's they paint the picture that is correct when it's not. It's not about help. It's none of that. It's prison. It's punishment. So even though these people are paid top dollar to do the right things, when you come in and they assess you, they ask you scared? Nah. You could be the slowest whoever, and I'm looking at him in the bullpen. Guess what? If he don't want to say, basically in New York State Prison, for me to say I need mental health, they give you your evaluation in a circle in front of, it could be 200 convicts down there.
Facts.
I ain't even gonna say convicts, prisoners.
Facts.
So this person is sitting in front of these people, putting on a show for them while at the same time being assessed. This individual that's assessing them know damn well the fear of God is going through this individual. You're not supposed to do nothing like that, but regardless of how sick he may be, he can still tell her, do I look like I need some mental health to you? Guess what? CO's there all the things. She gonna say, no, not a problem. Look, I put it on your paper. And guess what? He ain't getting no help at all. Now watch this.
What's the conditions in there, Quay, in New York State prison? Like, how is it?
Man, that's why now it depends on what kind of spot he was at. Where was bro locked up at?
I don't know.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. Hold on. It don't even matter where he was locked at when it come to prison, because where he got locked up initially is hell on earth, Rikers Island.
Okay.
It's a free fall. And remember I was telling you, like with Diddy and all that. Remember I was telling you about money jails? That's what this is about over there. I don't care what it's punishment and money. Period. COs coming in, I don't care how. If 20 of them got knocked and it's on the news, then that means 80 of them is sitting back like this. Hold on, don't sell nothing today. They all dirty. It's ugly. And if they're not dirty, they close a blind eye. That's why that day when IKS and I was sitting, we was talking with Twisted Black. These new people come in and say, yeah, I'd rather be around a cool CO. Not me. I want that idiot, because I know what I'm working with. You know what I mean? You know what you dealing with. So when it comes to the younger brothers nowadays, yes.
What is that like?
I mean, it's you in a cell, dolo. It depends on which ones you at. And I mean, you know, you by yourself. Yes, you are. Now
by yourself.
I'm gonna say this off top. It ain't just, you know, a solitary confinement cell that'll make you, you know, seem a little bit off. People have to understand that no matter which way you want to look at it, prison is surviving. That's what it is. There's no comfortability. So even if it's a dude who got 40 in, see how I'm 49. Well, I'm about to be 49 a couple weeks. Shout out to us, Uncle Beach. You older than me. Yeah. His birthday coming up in a couple days.
Yeah.
But you see how I'm older and I'll be so energetic at times, and people will say, yo, that's crazy. How you moving like that? I've been home almost 3 years. I've been surviving a long time. So this average old dude will, you know, he might be 65. Yeah, he can go and do that set of the pull-ups. He might get up and he gonna shoot the fair one with you. That's grandpa. It's a mindset and a conditioning that you have to be, even down to the COs. 70 years old, they are conditioned to handle you. My point is, right?
Mm-hmm.
This mental health situation that we all dealing with, right? A lot of times it's not as delusional as people think. I think we're in a time where so many people are so selfish and so focused on themselves that they wait for somebody to actually say, hey, brother, I think I got mental health issues. Can you help me? Ain't nobody gonna say that.
Right.
You know, the same way you can pick up that man needs some help. You can pick up the same way if he hit the lotto. You see how his vibe changed, right? See how that money was running through him. You know how to talk then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hard times, the same communication. You know, you got to really understand somebody. You know, and especially when it comes to pain. Now, only thing I'm saying is some of those fears may have been real. Looking at the fact of the bail reform, this is third gun charge. He knew automatically he was going to L on whatever was on that.
Facts.
That's the law. He getting an L on the back of that. Off top, guess what? The mandatory minimum is automatically doubled in the front. You get me? That's 2. 3, every time he went and seen his PO, they let him know, man, you supposed to be under the jail, but you still out here free because of this bail reform law. So what does that mean? What you and I was just talking about, Uncle Beats, dual prosecution. Yes, there's a very, very, very good possibility that the feds was around. And why they were showing their face? Because of the bail reform law. Oh, yeah, you can run for the state, but we here. We here.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, run if you want to. Where you at? Yeah, oh, you over there with your aunt? Hey, buddy. They do things like that. Yes, brother. To put the squeeze on. So now, once they would have brought him in for a sentencing, I said to you, bro, they got dual prosecution. So they would have said to him, all right, you already know that you twisted on this state situation. So we're going to go on and say, all right, for the bare minimum, we're going to give you a 7 to life. You know what I'm saying? 3.5 is the minimum on a gun charge. That doubles when you get the sentence under the guidelines of not a predicate persistent felony offender, persistent violent felony offender. When you get that status because of the weapon. So with the state telling you, yeah, I'm giving you 7 to life, and the feds saying you ain't getting nothing less than 360 months. Period.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because y'all done. Let me ask y'all this, Quay. Y'all done the prison time, right? So this is my question. And shout out everybody on TikTok, DM me, let's work. But y'all have done the prison time before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been in there, I'm sure, with people that was never coming home. So to somebody who might be up against this and thinking of going out the same way he did, is that the way to go or what? Tell me, because y'all done the time, so y'all know.
Is that the way to go? What?
I'm different. I don't
would you,
think suicide is ever an option.
Right, that's the
Same
question.
here. Yeah, me neither.
I don't think so.
But I mean, like,
but at the same time, some people aren't solution oriented. You have to know that kind of person when you we grown. So when you dealing with somebody, whether it's hustling, music, whatever, some people, for instance, let's keep it music. They in the booth. We saw them sit here and write this track. Some of this thing ain't going right. Some people can accept constructive criticism and be like, you know what, yo, you right. I could add this to it or whatever. Some people will take that a different way. Some people are pessimistic. Some are optimistic. But it takes you knowing that individual, really paying attention to them, you know? So that's what I was asking basically in this conversation. Like, how well did you honestly know, bro? Because you may be in a situation where he may have been in a situation where the system really threatened this man and with the mind games had him go crazy. I swear I was sitting here behind the thing and I was visualizing once you explained it. I'm like, yo, the blame is behind his PO in the feds. Yes, sir. I know you done heard it many a times. They say, oh yeah, you thinking you having fun, huh? Yeah, you got 2 days left? Yeah, and did 2 days to forever. Can't wait to get you. You know how they be coming at us, bro. But the PO to sit there quietly, the PO will tell you, you know they gonna give you forever. Look, and then imagine if man, that got my hair standing up. Imagine if the feds or the PO gave him the sentencing guidelines. He would have went crazy. 3 gun charges with 3 bids. The feds is starting at 360 months, brother.
It's sad to say this, y'all, but he's not the first person to do something tragic like this when he's facing going back to the penitentiary. So it's almost like maybe when they bond people out, they should automatically force them to have to go get some type of mental treatment to make sure that they're okay with what they're facing, because he's not the first one. He's definitely not the first.
But this is how I see it, B, and this is just from my point of view. You know what I'm saying? I try to put myself in his shoes every which way to try to make sense of this. All right? And before I finish, I want to introduce my little sister, Aaliyah, college graduate of family. She got some input.
Okay.
Hello, Aaliyah.
Hi.
But before I go in, there's nothing that's gonna make me kill my. I don't give a fuck how many. I'm sorry. I don't care if I gotta do a business, what it is, life, whatever. I'm not going to take out my mom's, my daughter.
That's in your same mind, though.
That's the same mind. That is.
Now,
that's why I asked you though. Hold on, bro. Did that dude use K2?
Now,
if so, it has been documented that make them people do. Yo, listen, K2 will make you fight yourself, brother. I mean it, bloody. So, brother,
I a couple things I wanted to say, if possible.
Oh, it's definitely possible. You got the floor.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say is something that I realized. Also, we have another family member here who is a CO, so he could probably shed perspective on what it's like actually working in the field. But I was gonna say something that I noticed is a lot of times, right? People will think they want to die, but in actuality, it's like you're dying to live, right? In other words, societies, let's just say external pressures, they're becoming so much, right? But not all the times do we have the healthy coping skills. Like, we don't know who to talk to. We don't know who to turn to. And like you said, society has conditioned us to be so individualized, where nowadays we don't even feel comfortable calling one another, or maybe people too busy, or, you know, like, we're so, how can I say it? We're disconnected as a people, right? And the sense of community, there's some repatching and healing that needs to go on there, because everybody's so caught up in their own ways that we do miss these signs. However, I feel like we need to give ourselves grace because we're not mental health professionals. So that's where we do need to look at the system and say, well, you know, somebody needs to care. Okay, I get it. You getting paid, but you caring would have made all the difference between 4 lives being saved. You know, so at that point, that's where we really need to start waking up, you know, and bringing awareness to, nobody is giving away free money just to be giving away free money. If you going to do work, you have an objective, right? Especially in the mental health professional or field, or even being as a CEO. You're not there just to make money. Yes, some people are, but we kind of need to change the trajectory on that. The last point that I wanted to make is I had a couple numbers that I wanted to tell. So there is a 988 number, and I actually called them. There's a, let's just say, a representative that picks up, and she'll guide you through the call. She asks you, you know, what feelings are you feeling? Like, are you having any suicidal ideations? And she'll point you to the correct resource that you need. So I feel like that's a good resource for everybody. You know, sometimes we don't know where to start, but just picking up picking up the phone and calling somebody, an unbiased individual, may make all the difference, you know? So I just wanted to put that resource out there because it could be beneficial to, you know, anybody. So yeah.
Yeah, I know one thing that's for sure, because I'm out here in California, and I did some time, and I did a lot of time. And when you do a lot of time, they actually put you through a tribunal of psychiatrists to make sure that you are actually in a mental state to be able to go back out there into the society, especially when you do a lot of time, because you get your mind starts being set with that way of living up in there. You know what I'm saying? You walk one way in a circle. You know what I'm saying? You walk, you know what I'm saying? There's certain areas you can't go in, but when you coming back out here into the free world, it's different. Now you don't have that box no more. Now you're kind of free, except for that tag that's on you for being on parole. But like I said, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It's the mentality. Because most of it, if you got a strong mind, you're not thinking about hurting yourself. It's only when you got a fractured mind that you let all those things actually come in, and they'll start guiding the way that you act.
And I would like to put this there. I'm in Colorado. So I see, and this is actually, I went to school for sociology, and what I have realized is our white counterparts have the luxury and the financial, how can I say it, liberty to engage in therapy, you know, healthcare, housing, and things like that. We have not had that luxury as a people for a long, long, long time. So we have to keep in consideration. We don't know how many of our people have mental diagnoses that have been like that have went undiagnosed, you know, and now you just grew up in society as a young man managing those mental health issues, right? But never being diagnosed.
True.
So that's
hold on. Now hold on now.
Go ahead.
Now hold on. We as a people though, we don't make that a focal point. You know what I mean? Meaning, see, I'm back to the question that I was going to ask STARBORN. One thing that we don't have, you too, because this is something that needs to be implemented. And I'm gonna put it on to me. I know I got a bunch of screws loose. And just what I was saying to you as far as the evaluations, that's what I did in prison. I didn't want to go to I ain't going through. Why? Because they're gonna make you go to meds, and it's a domino effect of things that go on. If I were to say I need a little help, you know what I mean? I know I ain't all right. So with that being said, I wish that there was a process where the same way the people that we reach out to for our release or our approved visits, that these real caring family members were able to say, I need him assessed. Yeah, he cool. He like having fun, but I think something is a little off, you know? And that's what white people will do.
How do you know though, Quay? It's like,
how do you know?
I hate to say it, but 95% of the people I talk to, I think they got a mental problem.
Yes. So now watch this. Guess what? Look, same thing with white folks. They're just a little more blunt about it. For instance, watch this, right?
I meant white. I meant white people too. I didn't just mean
Well,
black
look though,
people, but
look at one. It's taboo for us as black people, bro. Because okay, let me simplify it. The dental appointment comes with the cartoons, the special toothbrush. A dental appointment. There's ways to make the doctor make it fun, right? Even when it comes to regular hospital, they have pediatrics. It looks welcoming to the children and all that. We need mental health. There's no cartoon for it. It's not walked into the black household like how it's walked into the white household. You get me?
Right.
It's normal for the white household. They'll be like, okay, Johnny, now go on and take your meds. Johnny 7. Yep, because Johnny doesn't know how to act. So Johnny has to take his little green pill, right? But we don't do that with Lil Ra. Because we embarrassed. My son don't need no damn pill. The system telling him.
He's just energetic. You know what I'm saying? He's just
Exactly.
energetic.
We will make all the excuses because it's taboo to us, bro.
But
you get me?
But this is what I'm saying to everyone. How do you know? Because some people develop mental issues as they get older.
We don't know. We don't know.
Always come from a
Actually, that's true. That's not true. Because if you talking to yourself and you answering, you got a problem.
Well, no.
If you talking
bro,
and answering your own questions,
we don't know.
People go
crazy.
I know a lot of people who like, man, what happened to him, or what happened to her when they get older? You know, life.
But look at my example, bro. We have to make it welcoming into the black household. Guess what? You go to the dentist, even if one of your people say, yo, what happened to your tooth? You're like, oh, man, I was complaining. I got to go to the dentist. We have to make an appointment with the mental health normal in the black community. Once we start doing this, and that starts with us as parents with the children. Because you're right, we don't know. And guess what? Then white people don't know. But when Bobby slip up, Bobby going to get we ain't going through this 3 times at the grocery store. Bobby's going to get help. Bobby is acting up. And I'm tired of it. That's how they do.
One thing I do know, and people don't want to accept it. God is powerful, but the devil is powerful too. So it's like stuff is gonna happen, man. So it's like no one can say, I wish I could have talked to him. It's my fault I didn't talk to her. I talked to him. It's like no to talk to the next person. Because crazy as it may sound, is somebody going through something worse still. And they done lost 3 generations of family. And it's still somebody going through something worse somewhere else. So it's like, hopefully
on that note,
people are watching it.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to go ahead. So we do have, another family relative here, and he pretty much is a CEO. So he wanted to share his perspective on, what he sees in and out of like coming in work.
Let's get to it. Let him get it.
Yo, hold on. Yo, CEO.
No,
yo, CEO.
Let him get it. Let him get it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm Pop, you know what I'm saying? But pertaining to this situation in general, like I've seen on a daily basis, like a lot of people go crazy. And I just wanted to talk on the topic of what he said, like, my uncle said he don't really understand or can't fathom on how somebody could kill their mom and their daughter. You feel me? But like someone has said, like that's in your sane mind. And I've seen a lot of people go crazy inside of a jail, like we said, off the K2 or hearing that parole get denied and stuff like that, and they lose it. You know what I'm saying? You really don't, like, you're not yourself. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people like damn near kill you feel what I'm saying? Because I can't really say too much, you know what I mean? But y'all know what I'm trying to say. You feel me? Like you're not in your right state of mind. And the reason why I chose this field was because of reasons like this. Like for somebody that been through it, you know what I'm saying, who knows what's going on, who knows that what that extra 2-3 minutes on the phone might do to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I chose to go into this profession, you feel me? And seeing this happen, it's like, damn, I kind of wish that when he was locked up, you feel me, there was more people who had the same mindset as I do to actually care and get people help and like actually do their job and do it in a way where you're also rehabilitating, not just making sure these niggas don't fight each other or don't do this or don't do that, or actually have conversations with people. Because at the end of the day, what a lot of I feel like law enforcement in general fail to realize is that these people are human too. You know what I mean? And when you go off of straight, all right, look, you're a human, I'm a human. It's a basic respect that got to be there. You'll see that their job is way more easier than people that come in there thinking it's khaki and blue. You know what I mean? So, and mind you, like I'm put this in perspective. I'm 21. You know what I mean? So I got people, whether it's co-workers, inmates, or whatever the case may be, that are well older than me, that been in there for some time. You know what I mean? And it's hard to get people out that mentality because all some inmates know is, nah, these SEALs be doing things that they shouldn't be doing to kind of like, you know what I mean? And then there's some SEALs that's like, nah, fuck that. These are they IPs, they inmates, you know what I'm saying? This was gotta go on. And it's like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, bro, my job isn't here to make your life hard, bro. You feel me? Your punishment is being here. I'm not here to make it any, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. If you need this, if you need that, then we're gonna, feel me, talk about it. We'll see what's going on. If you need tissue, like I've seen a lot of people get denied tissue just off the strength of they don't feel like making that walk. You know what I mean? So it's like it jail fucks with you, bro. As a CEO, it's fucking with me. You know what I mean? Right. Well, excuse my language, traumatized. You know what I'm saying? But as a CEO, it messes with me.
So I got
you know?
the same. I'm gonna ask you the same question. See, just what I just said needs to be done. You actually have the power to do that. You can assess the inmate come in and see him cool, all the above, da. You know what I mean? You probably came across your nephew in Rikers, right? Were you in Rikers Island? Where you at? The boat? Well, it don't even matter. Wherever you at, right? It don't even matter. It don't forget it, bro. Because I forgot this internet be real sometimes. Forget it, man. Check it though, right? You have the power to sit there and say, yo, I saw this dude come in and booking. I know he good money. I know what K2 do to people, but right now I know this dude fresh. You actually have that power to, instead of being cool, instead of being wavy, to say, hold on. All right, now, 7 cell right here, he need evaluation. Something just happened. I know this kid from the strip, but guess what?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Again, you as a people.
Hold on, Quay. You think prisons are in the business to help people and rehabilitate them?
I know they not. I know they're not. I know they're not. But what I'm saying, as a people,
he ain't in the.
I know what it is, bro.
To do that. He got to go.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, as a people,
still board.
He got to go from the protocol
as a people
passed down.
You got it, but you also too have to understand.
Nah, bro. Man, you can write that right in the log. He can write that right in the log, yo, bro.
Hold on, let him say.
You know what I'm saying?
What you have to understand is at the end of the day, this is a business. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, you could sit here and you can try to make things work for you. You can do whatever you got to do, but at the end of the day, if they tell you go suit up and do this, guess what? That's exactly what you got to do. If they tell you go, go make sure this gets done, you got to do your job at the end of the day. So
go home.
I might come off as the cool CEO or whatever the case may be, but it's not being cool. it's a respect thing. At the end of the day,
that's why I don't like cool CEOs. I don't like cool CEOs at all.
At the end of the day,
nah,
I got a job to do. You know what I'm saying?
Watch your mouth how you talk to my son.
I know.
I got a job I gotta do. You feel me? So it's nothing personal. Business is business. The same way you chose your route and you decided to do what you wanted to do, and you understood the consequences of it, exactly what I'm doing. I understand there's a consequence to everything I do, whether it's a good consequence or a bad one. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not that's why I can't mess with no cool thing. Nah, bro. At the end of the day, you chose your route. You know what you're doing. You're a grown-ass man, so you're going to sit there and deal with what you got to deal with.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So whether you want to sit here and think that the cool CEO might switch up or da-da-da-da, don't do nothing that's going to make this. Because at the end of the day, the cool CEO is the one that's going to have your back. You know how many times I took paperwork personally from the bubble straight to a sergeant or straight to a lieutenant? Like, yo, nah, I'm not going to lie. He'd be out the way. Can you please sign this for him? Because it wasn't even like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Don't get me twisted, big bro. Watch this, little bro. All jokes aside, like I love the fact we get. Well, you see, I said we. I'm free now. I love the fact when the population gets somebody like you. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I also know there's no reason from bidding. I can't afford to bond with you because you only do 8 hours. You understand? I'm in here for deck. I got some every day, bro. You go home. You know what I mean? I can't rely on your camaraderie, brother. And exactly as you said, when they go to that brass and all that, they may shake us down. You might not even be at work. They might ain't told you because they know you cool.
Guess what?
You get me? They know
what
you
saying,
cool.
though,
We not.
What you're saying goes to
episode
everything
2.
we talking about.
Yeah. Episode 2, Queb. That's gonna be episode 2.
Mental.
That's a whole. You know what I mean? But I want to bring
Exactly. That's why I was saying, like, for instance, that's why I was saying, like, it's one thing to, if we gonna say, it's business, we surviving, I say that. But if we honestly gonna say we care and you in a position of power to care, then like I said, I'm looking at it from the point of somebody who has bid it, and I've come across many CEOs that act like they cared. But I was never assessed, and I got issues and a half. That's how I'm creative. I'm a day late and a dollar short.
Like I said though,
what I'm saying,
this one thing you gotta accept. He didn't put you in jail. The CEO didn't put you in jail. You did, and that's what my brother was. My brother was a.
I understand that.
Was a correctional officer, so it was a job to him, and he's straight from the streets. It was a job to him, and you got to do your job. And it's like we saying about the mental stuff. That's not up to the guard. That got to come from up top for them to give them the time. So it's like
this is my last thing. Although I'm there, like you said, for 8 hours and you're there, what you gotta understand, and you've been in jail. One small thing, whether it's those 8 hours or those other 16 that I'm not there, anything could happen. So if I am there for those 8 hours and I can make those 8 hours the smooth day, I can make sure all those paperwork that you need to get, the grievances forms, the loss of property. If I can make sure in my 8 hours that your day goes good, then that's my job. I did my job. I can't control what everybody else do. I can't control what the next CEO do. So when I walk in, I can sit here and I can have conversations with you. I can make sure you're good. I can make sure you get everything you need to get. You feel what I'm saying? But that's just life in general, bro. You can't control.
Now, I respect that, bro. Hold on. Watch this. I also know the flip side of that. Don't get me twisted, brother. I also know the flip side is you can't afford to do that regularly. The more I'm hearing you, the more I see that you are passionate about your position and you doing you. So you know that you are one out of thousands that don't care. But the flip side of that is a lot of convicts, even myself, we surviving. So it may be my goal to use you. I may have to use you. And that's where the flip side comes in at, of where, you're forced to be guarded because some of us is just gritty. So I understand both sides of that. That's a crazy aspect.
Other flip side is too. My job is my job. You know what I'm saying?
And you got one of the most dangerous. You got one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. That's the other flip side.
Period.
So, the same way you're saying about not bonding, he got to trust the inmate, which is the most dangerous thing to do. So it goes.
He ain't never got to trust no inmate. Never.
Yeah, yes,
never,
he do.
Never, ever.
Yes, he do.
Beats, you hear me?
Go ahead.
All right, it's my little brother. It's the only brother. It's the only brother I got.
Peace.
He's
What's
the same.
up, man?
He's the same age as my cousin Kasim.
Okay.
They came up together.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let him get his little insight and say what he got to say on the matter, because he had a more touch with him than I did.
Right.
Because of the age difference.
I was just gonna say, you just gotta check in on your peoples, man, because he's not the type of guy that will go out and do anything like this. He was a protector. He the type to send all the women in the family pepper sprays and rape was Christmas time. You know what I'm saying? Right. I believe having to go back to do a bid. I don't know what happened, but he wasn't trying to go back in there to do that. And I think he just I don't know, just like he gave up in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to continue to just check on our people, man, at all times, regardless if they look like they're doing good or not. Because I just spoke to the man 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't sound like he was capable of doing anything like that.
But on the other side with the CO, I'm a convict also, and I'm constantly in my nephew ear to make sure he's not one of those. You get what I'm saying? That he treat every individual as a human being when he first walk in them doors. I know he got to do his job, but at the same time, don't be that guy to come in and try to make it hard for someone else. You get what I'm saying? And be on point. Right. That's it. He come from a line of thoroughbred dudes. You know what I'm saying? So he's able to use discernment and make decisions. Sometimes he risks his job, I believe. You get what I'm saying? Because you have those, like you said, that's going to use him. See he young, you know, and use him. But he's street smart as well as educated. So I give him, you know, I'm giving him mad props for being in that position because I believe he's going to help more than the average dude would.
Well, let me say that.
Yeah.
My first conversation when he decided, you know, when he told the family what, you know, his decision was and what he was going into, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, straight up. I'm like, nah, that's not it. But then again, he like, you know, what his grandfather taught him, you know, you can't make no changes from the outside. So his decision was to go in and like my brother said, he knows both sides of the coin. So from him taking that position, and that's a first in our family. Let's put it that. That's a first in our family. Yeah. So for him taking that position, with all due respect, I understand we all been in the inside. For those that been in the inside, we all been in the inside. We know how it is, and we know how there are CEOs that will come and give you hell and make your time more. Well, we know how it is. So the conversation when he first decided to take that, my thing was to my son, you gotta remember, they're just like us. They're human beings too. So if you're gonna go in there and you're gonna do your job, you represent, and you have an understanding that yes, you have a job that you have to do, but you can't make it harder. And I understand, like, just like it's gangs out here, there's gangs in there too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in order for you to make a difference, you gotta be involved. You gotta be there. We got somebody on the inside, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. He puts his job in jeopardy
a lot
by having these relationships with people, and you know what? Because that's saying that somebody else ain't do their job. So he has to be real particular and real decisive of how he go about inserting information that what needs to be done.
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, you know, again, we all got to stick together and understand the part that we play of being the links and keeping us connected. You understand?
Let me ask y'all something before we have to wrap it up. Is it do y'all got a GoFundMe or anything, or like any?
It's set it up yet. And at the end of the day, when we do, because collectively, you know, Star was talking about it, setting it up. Him and my sister probably set it up.
Okay, hold on.
We're gonna use that to bring awareness to the mental health crises in our community. We set with a few community leaders. Star set with the assemblymen over there in the community, you know, sat down. So we're gonna use this tragedy to bring awareness. So that's it. And
no telling how many lives y'all could save by doing that. You know, so it's like
that's facts.
Every people hate that I do this, but you have to look for the positive in every bad situation. You know?
And I got one for you.
What's that?
I got one for you.
What's that?
My mother is still here. It's the truth. That's the
hey man. Hey, no, for real. For real.
Yeah.
That is the perfect example. Like when my son passed away, and people like, oh, why you not going crazy? I'm like, he could have had all his brothers and sisters, and he could have had a car full of people with him when he crashed. At least he was by himself. So yeah, any of y'all could have been heading over there to meet with him, and he not in his right mind. So it ain't no telling how. So yeah, you gotta think.
Yo, you know what I wanted to say?
For that.
It just dawned on me while y'all was talking, bro. But this is really conditioned into us as black people because America itself is young. You get what I mean? And look at it from this angle, man. As white people grew in this young America, You know, they didn't have the hard times we had. And as we grew, the last thing we could ever afford was any type of blemish. So for us, you know, to say I am not literate, to say I am not at a certain status of education, these things, it wasn't just the fact that we didn't want to mention them. It was the fact that if we mention them, we got consequences for it, bro. So to be a Black American, to say I have mental health issues would take me out the playing field for A, B, C, and D. And the older you go back, there were real consequences. Like if I got mental health issues, the family might get rid of you. Like we have to think we were conditioned so terribly. So us as a culture, we're not confident yet. So we have to begin. I don't think I ever said nothing like this, like with how much we got to grow. But America is young in general. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we are a different culture because, man, in order to say we had mental health issues, that meant I have a consequence now. I am not equal to others. That's why us as a culture don't really push the issue, even if we know something may be bothering us. Because for us to ask for help is to say, I'm going to get in trouble or I'm going to put an X on me.
Yes.
It's proven scientifically that passed down through generations, you know, trauma is passed down in our DNA. You know, for everything that our ancestors been through, you know, as a culture, and I just don't want to say Black Americans, I want to say people of color because we come from a mixed family. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I just tell you like this. Our people of color, our people, it's not a badge of honor to sit there and say, I went to a therapist or I go talk to somebody, you know, or is that serious to where I need to talk to somebody, because we don't, that never helped us in a sense to where, like you said, if we do reach out, things could be counted against us. He wouldn't have been able to get them 2 jobs.
I'll be honest. I'm just from my own experience. I don't think at times, like, you know, I never know him to be no schizophrenic. I know people that are. I've never took him to be that. You know what I'm saying? He's just more or less one of the people that you'll never hear him complain or tell his problem. You get what I'm saying? He always just sit there and listen. So I guess in those times he submerged all that, suppressed it all the way down. Right now, I also know a lot about you know, psychotic episodes and paranoia. You know what I'm saying? Because a person can have so much fear or so much you know, when intrusive thoughts come in, you know what I'm saying? When you got so much going on and some intrusive thought come in and you think it's yours and you fucked around and act on it and fuck your life. I'm sorry. Mess around and act on it.
That's why I said, what if did he smoke K2, bro? Because something simple.
Don't do that.
Nah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My cousin talked to me.
Did somebody slip him a Mickey? Because look, if I'm thinking weird and I'm paranoid, and somebody slip me a Mickey, that K2 will make you lose it.
Quaalude, you gotta let her talk, bro. Let him talk.
He's not. I'm gonna be honest. My cousin was a smoker. My cousin drunk.
Yeah, he drank.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a smoker. But at the end of the day, I do not know the people that he was around. I do not know people he was chilling with. You know what I mean? I know that they all family and they came from the same foundation. But at the same time, like, I know that if you pass a blunt to my cousin, he's not going to take it. You understand what I'm saying?
Did somebody put something in his drink? Did somebody put something in his drink?
What you're saying, Quaalude?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and look for things to blame it on. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? All I'm going to say that I know that he was not in his right mind. Yeah. From the text that he gave me on that Monday, telling me that he's not okay. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I knew that something wasn't right. You know, and I said, pull up on me. I'm here. Tell me what you want me to do. At the end of the day, could I have went and called all my family like, oh, yo, something not right at this and the third? Yeah, I could have did that. But Cas is not like that. You understand what I'm saying? He's not, if he talks in you, he confide in you. It's supposed to stay right there. That's the type of relationship that we have. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to put it on anything else except mental insanity. Like, that nigga lost his mind for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I know him. He would have not did anything like that just on a humbug.
I know I ain't got my favorite aunt and my niece no more. Likewise. I ain't got my favorite cousin either.
Man, that's my brother.
Yeah,
that's my fucking brother.
I look at it like I look at it.
Condolences to y'all, man.
Visual. I was at the visual, man, and I sat there and I'm like, this dude just took out, his bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And I can't really find an excuse to even think of what was going on in his head. I know my aunt didn't deserve it. I know his daughter didn't deserve it. And I know he loved them dearly. I know my aunt fought. I know that for a fact. You get what I'm saying? So there's so many avenues I could go down with it. Like maybe she was,
she was a real one.
Maybe she was tripping at him like, I got the house, whatever. And he probably, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't put it together. But I do know this was like not him. It's like almost like one of us doing it. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, I feel like we need to check in, man. Like even when everybody got problems and everybody got to handle their own problems. But best you believe, man, you have to check in with people because you never know what type of time they on.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's family. And like my mom is there all the time.
And she's beating herself up right now. She said, if I was there, I probably could have stopped it. I probably could have.
Trying to talk about if she could stop.
Mm-hmm.
Could have stopped.
And being a sister, that's what you want to say to yourself after some shit like this happened. But you would have been laying there too.
This is why they call mental health the silent killer, right? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has great points, man. You know what I'm saying? And all of them are correct, depending on the individual, right? You know what I'm saying? Because your perception is your reality. And, I'm not going to put nobody's business out there. I'm going to speak from my own. See, I go to therapy today because I realized that I had a problem, you know what I'm saying? And the problem is that I struggled with suicidal ideation.
There you go.
Right. There wasn't a day that didn't go by. I did not think about it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then one day I realized that I wasn't afraid of it. Then I attempted it twice. Alcohol was a big portion of it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I can let myself go into a real deep, dark place. And since I didn't have nobody to help pull me out, it was either I'm going to be strong enough to pull myself out or I'm not. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to people like that, I don't say that they're, cowards or anything like that, because you don't know what that person is going through, right? The mental fortitude that it takes for you to talk yourself out of not only doing bodily harm to yourself, but harm to others, especially if you're used to being a strong one.
Yeah.
You feel as if you don't have nobody to hold on to or no one's going to pay attention to. You ever hear this term? As men on this panel, we get taught all the time, no one cares what you're going through. Man up.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? What happens when you don't man up? See, no one's really thinking about that. Or people are looking for other people to blame. When deep down inside, when we can start bringing more awareness to the communities that we're in, then that's going to be the change that we need to see within the communities, right? You know what I'm saying? But it starts with individuals like yourselves coming on and sharing your story, being vulnerable and open with us, right? You know what I'm saying? But also shedding the light on, you know what I'm saying, our BIPOC and POC communities out there that are struggling. And maybe, just maybe, we get somebody else to pay attention to it. So just like your younger sister that's out in Colorado, I'm also out here in Colorado. I do a lot of community work. I have a nonprofit. So this right here is, you know what I'm saying, it just helps open up the doors for people to really understand what's going on, right? You know what I'm saying? And we got a long ways to go, as Quay said. You know what I'm saying? America is not really, we're really not that old. We're just now starting to catch up to the things, you know what I'm saying, that we've stuffed behind hundreds of years ago, right? You know what I'm saying? That's been passed down through our genetic DNA. We carry that stuff, and we carry it with the badge of honor. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it's one step at a time. But this time, we can, we have a few other things that we can fight with, as long as we know what we're fighting.
Mental health is just,
you know
mental health is a real thing, though, Tom.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing.
It ain't
you know
about
what I'm saying?
being on drugs. It ain't about being on liquor.
No, it's the mental. The drugs is just there to cover up. You know what I'm saying? Because if I can make you think that I'm an addict, you're not going to ask me what's wrong with me. You're going to talk bad about me. Think about that for a minute, right? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm out there, if you know that I'm an alcoholic, and every time you see me with a drink, you just say, "Oh, that's just Tony." You're
That's
not
that
going to ask
rhino.
me what's going on with me. You know
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
definitely
But the surprising part about it is, I've already left breadcrumbs out there for you to follow. You just didn't want to believe that I was capable of doing that, or
I
that
definitely want to
I
thank
was
y'all for coming
struggling
on
the
though.
way that I was. You dig
Most
what I'm
definitely.
saying? So, when it comes down to
Let's
it,
kind of wrap it up, Tom, because
yeah, man.
they
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
I
I
definitely
will see
want
you
to thank
guys
y'all for coming
tomorrow.
on.
You know what I'm saying? I will definitely see you guys tomorrow, man. I
Let's
love
do
to
it.
talk more about this and know how we can help support. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And bring awareness.
Exactly.
So let's let's stay in
Because
contact, man. Let's
what y'all
do
doing
something
is nothing
big.
but bravery. Nothing but
Most
bravery.
definitely.
That's all.
Big
So
facts.
and with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let my co-host, man, you know what I'm saying, close it out, and then we're gonna let you guys leave the audience with something if you guys don't mind. What's
Oh
that?
man. First off, man, appreciate y'all for coming up here, man, and sharing. You know what I'm saying? Condolences to y'all and your family, man. Y'all gonna be in our prayers, bro. Most definitely mine, you know what I'm saying? Uh and just, keep your head up, man, and think about the good times, man.
I mean, all I can say is, yo, first and foremost, man, condolences. Appreciate y'all sharing, your whole scenario with us. And honestly, bro, I can't even imagine what you're going through. That's not
No.
even a scenario I've even put into my faction. So I don't know how to tell you to do anything other than survive. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I could say I appreciate y'all, man. And you welcome at any time, bro. You want to do a part 2 or whatever else. And I still got somebody else, like I was telling you, bro, I just ain't get the confirmation yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, try to get you on that other platform, get your story out there, man, because this is therapeutic for us too. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
appreciate you, brother. And appreciate
Most
Uncle
definitely.
Beats even introducing you to us, brother. You know what
Yep,
I'm
yep.
He's
saying?
good.
Again, condolences.
He's
Stay
good
strong,
people.
man.
He's
And
good
we
people.
appreciate the
And
opportunity
number
to share our experience and our story from our perspective. So,
thank thank
we
thank
appreciate that
y'all.
very, very much.
Most
Thank
definitely.
y'all. And Star, you my brother. Your pain is my pain. So your family pain is my pain, man. Nothing but love, brother. For
Peace,
sure.
peace, peace.
Hey man, I want to say, man, I pray healing upon your family, healing and understanding. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, through a lot of prayer and faith, man, this what you guys are doing today is going to change the trajectory of how we start to look at people in our communities and bringing us back together to what we once were, which was a village. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I'm gonna hand this over to you guys. Leave the audience with
And
something. You
hold
know what
on,
I'm saying?
if
And
there's anything we can do,
yeah.
let us know. You know what I mean?
Most
Down to
definitely.
anything, promo, art, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know you
Yeah,
do the music. You need, you know what I'm saying? We want to collab and do some, rest in peace joint, like anything. The doors is open, man. Let us know, bro.
most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I'm gonna
it's
hand this
one
up
thing.
to you guys, man.
It's
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna bring it to a close, but it's one thing that keep hitting me. Is to the youth. He caught his first bid at 16, 17, and the gun charge wasn't his.
Right.
Ain't say nothing. That could cost him 8 years of his life. So all these young gangsters out there that's doing it's repercussions behind. Look where look where that life leads you.
That's it.
Because you never would have thought in a million years a cat like that would do something like that.
Right.
So all that gang and all that, gang and all that. Look, took out his whole family. Because he didn't want to go to jail. I mean, in my mind, makes it, he's going to jail. He want to go to jail. But you doing shit that you know what it is. In general, I'm just saying in general. Crazy. Yeah. I just like to say I appreciate y'all having us on, man, and to the rest of the world, just check on your family, man, for real, because I'm pretty sure if we all as men, feel like we got to protect our family, and sometimes the load might get a little too heavy, and if we all in different places, you know what I'm saying? We not reaching out on an everyday to know what a person going through, you know. So I would just say, man, like really, truthfully, man, check on your family, check on your loved ones, man, because they could be going through anything, man. And I would hate for anyone to experience what we experienced, because I didn't only lose a great aunt, I lost a cousin, I lost a grandniece, you know, and it's just you got to check on your family, man. That's all I want to leave you guys with.
Appreciate
Tune in to the Connect Work with IKS, Tony Lynch, and Quaalude, America's #1 show.
If you haven't been listening to the new guys, the Connect Work, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, take that. This is the Diddler, and I'm oiled up and listening to the Connect Work.
From the west to the east, it's the DOGG, and I'm rocking with the Connect Work.
If you don't know who I am, then you're stupid. Shout out to the Connect Work, hottest show, period. Yay.
I want to give a big shout out to the Connect Work. These brothers are the new sound of radio.
Now this is real entertainment, gang. Damn it. Y'all better take lessons, and I mean it.
If y'all ain't listening to the Connect Work, then y'all got something wrong with y'all.
Andrew Tate here, and I want to give a super shout out to the Connect Work.
Big shout out to IKS, Quaalude, and Tony Lynch. Together they make up the Connect Work.